What's going on, everybody? It's your girl Lolita, aka Lo. I hope you're doing well. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about this new podcast, this new episode of the Take Action Real Estate Investing Show. I have a very special guest, but before I introduce him, I want to thank all of you for reaching out to me, for sharing feedback about the podcast and how some of the episodes are helping you, keeping you motivated, keeping you continuing to take action and educate yourself. So that is the purpose of the podcast. And also, I want to continue to encourage you guys to share any feedback, okay, or suggestions of shows and topics and all that, okay? I really do listen. So, but now what I want to do, I want to introduce to you a young man that's here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I've known him for a while. He is a take action investor. He's doing very well, and I can't wait for him to share a little bit about his story and his background and some things he's been able to do in the real estate industry. But I want to go ahead and without further delay introduce Mr. Connor Steinbrook. Connor, how are you this evening?
Thanks, Lo. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you again for taking the time to allow me to interview you. And I just want to go ahead without any delay. Just share a little bit about yourself. Just talk a little bit about Connor, where you're from, and how you got started and interested in real estate investing.
Okay, yeah. So I'm from Plano, Texas, just north of Dallas. We market all over DFW, all over North Texas. I have a little bit of a unique background. From 2003 to 2011, I was a top online poker player. I did this all the way up until the big shutdown on April 15, 2011. They called it Black Friday. Mm-hmm. Basically, what happened was, the United States Department of Justice shut down the biggest poker sites, and overnight the entire poker industry was destroyed. And so it'd been like tomorrow if all of us as real estate investors woke up and together we all lost everything we worked for the past 10, 15 years. And it just kind of destroy the entire system. And so I didn't know what I was going to do. And I was what I like to say, I was a high net income, low net worth individual. And if you know what that means, it means yes. I made a lot of money, but I spent it as fast as I made it. So I wasn't prepared for this. And so I wasn't really ready because I hadn't really been in real estate. I didn't know how to invest my money. And so I spent it all. And so I was kind of having to start over. And I got into network marketing, didn't like that. Obviously, y'all understand how that goes. And I got my insurance license for like a month and realized quickly I didn't want to do that. And then I'd always been watching those reality flipping shows. And, I went through late one night, I was watching one of those ads that came up, those commercials, some of our favorite television celebrities saying, come down to the weekend seminar and get to meet us, right? Of course, they're not there. And I went down there and I kind of got suckered into that whole situation, which I think is a shame. It's happening too much around the country right now. These companies are going through and kind of steamrolling the areas. They're coming into different markets that they're not even from. They're getting people to take out IRA money, credit cards, and putting people kind of at a disadvantage where they're so stuck starting their business that there's no way they're going to overcome it. Now, we don't need to go in and name the names of the ones that I went through, but no. I basically put $35,000 to go through a training company, and they gave me like a 2-week free YouTube education. And I quickly ran up a bunch of debt. They didn't help me with any of my marketing, and before I knew it, I had run up $60,000 worth of debt. Yeah. And the one thing I had done well is I built a big buyer's list. So I used that buyer's list to start out doing what's called joint venture wholesaling. Mm-hmm. So I was connecting people who had found those deals to other investors that were looking to buy them. And so I quickly realized that this was a powerful way to do it and a little twist on the wholesaling business. And then I kind of just went from there.
Fantastic. And yeah, I remember the story and you sharing some things as we would, often kind of connect in when we were networking. So, which I think is fantastic and incredible because I'm always asked, hey, Lo, with me just starting out, do I need to find deals or do I need to find buyers? And I think in your case, your answer would be, it's always good to find buyers. Is that correct? Because you can always, like you said, you can joint venture and co-wholesale with other investors that have the inventory, correct?
That's right. Like if you don't have a buyer's list, you don't have a business if you're trying to be a wholesaler. And I always tell people it's easier to find 100 people that need help selling that deal than it is to go and market for 100 deals on your own. Plus, it's a lot cheaper. My acquisition costs for deals that we're doing right now are anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000. Times that by 100, you're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Right. So it gets expensive really quick. And so you need two things to be successful at joint venture wholesaling. You need a big buyer's list that can sell a property quickly, and you need to let everybody know that you have that buyer's list, because nobody's going to bring you a deal unless they know that you can help them monetize it quickly. So shout loud and proud to the community, hey, look, I can sell your deal, and I can sell it at a higher price than everybody else can sell it. Bring me your deals. I only need a few days to sell them. We're traditionally selling these deals in 48 hours or less. And if you look at it on like a graph, you're like exponentially decreasing your odds of selling in a hot market right now. If you can't sell it that fast, you either overpriced or the numbers don't work, or something's wrong with that deal if you have a big buyer's list. So that's kind of what I did. A lot of y'all know my story. I know we don't have time to go over the whole story, but I basically went from the top of the world, making really good money as a high-level poker player, to being basically $60,000 in debt, working for minimum wage, to a year later closing almost 40 deals and not looking back since then. So we kind of transitioned from wholesaling into flipping houses, holding rental properties, creating notes, selling partial notes, and kind of we're now full on acquisition and wholesaling company.
Fantastic. Oh, that's awesome. So I want to go back a little bit. Can you share at least one, maybe two ways that, our listeners, they're probably wondering, well, how do you build a buyer's list? What are some of the things that I can do to start building a buyer's list? Name off just a couple of what, some of the listeners that's wondering, how can they build their buyer's list, they can do.
Yeah, the first thing you need to do, guys, is as far as to build your base as a new investor, this is the cheapest way to do it because it costs no money. Pick up the phone. So you can go right online if you know how Google works, or Bing or Yahoo. So we have what's called a keyword search, right? So if you go and pull up Google, you're going to have the search box, right? And if you type in cats, you're not going to see like elephants pop up, right? You're going to see a bunch of cats come up. So that's kind of how their system works. So you type in, something like we buy houses, or sell my house fast, or cash for houses, or house buyers, or real estate investor. So what you're doing is you're pulling up the companies in your area if you're doing it through geo-targeting. Now, geo-targeting is using a city or a location that you're looking for. So like a county, or like for my example in Dallas, I'd be typing in we buy houses Dallas, because if I just type in we buy houses, you're going to get it on a national level. So we're trying to target buyers in our area. Now, these individuals are either paying for pay-per-click, and they're paying a lot of money, $30, $40 a click, or they've either figured out how to crack the code to Google and fall along the way that their algorithm kind of crawls the internet to rank certain sites more relevant than others. And so that's called search engine optimization. So either way, these companies are up there at the top of the search results. They're going to be the big players in your area. Now, the problem with this is that they're the most experienced companies, and they're going to want the best price for the property because they're used to doing lots of deals, and they're going to try to knock you down. But this is the best way to get quick, easy buyers. Just go down those main keywords and go down the list and call them all. The other way that when I was building my business, I just used Craigslist. We drove people to squeeze pages, which is a landing page that captures your email, your phone number, and any other information you want. And so we drive them there through proactive and reactive marketing. Proactively, we're going through looking for them. We're looking for landlords, owner finance buyers, rehabbers, and in the order that you want as far as the best buyers. It's going to be rehabbers, landlords, and owner finance buyers, right? So a rehabber is going to try to get the best price they can from you because they make their money in the present, in the now. So if they make a wrong decision, they lose money right now. So a landlord can pay a little bit more, and an owner finance even more because they kind of control their financing. So you want those owner finance buyers on your buyers list because they're going to pay you the most for your properties. So you can go through and run proactive or reactive ads in Craigslist, and it's free as long as you have drive, determination, and the energy behind your action. You're going to be able to build a massive buyers list doing this, and there's a ton of investors on there.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Yep, you're exactly right about that. Now let's talk about marketing for motivated seller leads. And in the market and the climate that we're in, it's a strong market here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and a lot of other markets throughout the United States as well. So when you have a stronger market, typically that means you have the prices of houses, the values are up, as well as there's a shortage. So when it's harder to find inventory, talk a little bit about, because I hear some of, clients and different people in groups, they really complain and say, well, there's no leads out there. There's no motivated sellers out there because, we're not in that market where there's just, a plentiful of people that's desperate to sell. I want you to share a few things that you are doing in order to get motivated seller leads, because you and I both know that, yes, as long as you know how to market, you are going to find those motivated sellers that are wanting to sell in any market. So share a few things that you're doing in your marketing to get motivated seller leads.
Okay, guys. Yeah. So Basically, the average investor tries to follow the path of least resistance, and I like to explain to my students that it's like this. So, when you're a deer hunter, right? They figured out a long time ago that if there's a field that's got knee-high grass, if you cut a path through that grass straight to your deer blind, the deer will actually walk right up to your deer blind because it's the path of least resistance.
Right.
So, if you're following the path of least resistance, you're going to be the one getting, if you get what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
So we want to go against the grain. And so everybody's mailing the same lists and everybody's doing the same thing. So, a lot of the old school techniques of getting out into the neighborhoods are working best. And I'll explain that in a second. But I kind of want to quickly touch on something. And there's a lot of limiting beliefs out there. People are saying there's no deals out there right now. There's too many investors. There's not enough inventory. But what happens when you have that type of mindset is you can't follow up with the energy and action you need to go out there and do it because you don't believe that they're out there. And so really there is low inventory right now, but the problem is you're not seeing it. It's an illusion that you may get half as many deals, but you're profiting twice as much on them. If you're flipping a house, you're able to sell it quicker so you don't have the long carrying costs. You're finding buyers paying more for these properties faster. And so you're able to just make more on the back end. So it's really, you're making the same amount of money. So don't get caught up in that and just go out there and do what you can. But the biggest deals we're getting are from, a lot of y'all aren't going to like it, is from referral marketing, but that takes time to build up.
Yes.
But you got to get in the neighborhoods. So take a look like this. Look at a street of houses, right? And you say you're walking down the street, and the first house, that's, no deal. The next house is somebody who's in bankruptcy. The next house is someone in divorce. And the next house is a no deal. And the next house is someone who's moving into assisted living facility. And the next house is moving for job transfer, right? So you got this cocktail of different types of individuals in a neighborhood. Now, everybody's going after the same lists. Everybody, right? Even if it's getting pulled from the county. So how do we get to people quicker? We go for pre-life event leads, right? So when you go and close on a property and you buy a rental property, let's say, it doesn't show up in the county records the next day. There's a lag time. There's a couple weeks before, or depending on which county or city you're in, sometimes it's a month or longer, right? So there's a lag period before the information records. So we want to get to these people before that information records. So pre-probate, pre-divorce, pre-bankruptcy, right?
Right.
How do you do that? Well, in a competitive market, you have to get out into the neighborhoods, and you may be hitting these people. I call them ghost leads that people don't know they're about. So if you get someone moving to assisted living facility, there's not a list for that. Somebody moving for job transfer, there's not a list for that. So you're going to have to get out there and hit these neighborhoods hard and go in there and hit them hard with neighborhood canvassing, right? Putting bandit signs in and out of the entrances of those neighborhoods. Hit them with direct mail. Hit them 4 or 5 different ways. And instead of trying to just blast out information all over the place, which is also working now because we can go into internet marketing, which we do on a wider scale. But if we're targeting a certain area, and the areas that I'm targeting real heavy are areas where I already have a rental property that I like that area, because I want to buy my rental properties in a tight-knit area, so it makes things logistically more efficient for me to get out there to them. And so when we have a neighborhood that we really like, where the rent rates compared to the purchase price of the property and they're appreciating well, and I want to own these properties forever, we hit them really hard. And we're even having people door knock, and you just kind of got to get out there in the neighborhoods, and you can't just sit at home and make offers off the MLS. You can't just sit out there and do things the lazy way, because right now, the biggest deals you're going to get are those ones you have no competition for. And how are you going to find those deals? You literally just have to get out there and find those houses that nobody's mailing or contacting to because there's no list to get to them.
Right. And that's fantastic information. And you're right. So you have to hit the ground. And with that, talk a little bit about Investor Army and what you've been working with that. So talk about that.
Yeah, so Investor Army, we decided to put together a little bit earlier this year. So, everybody knows my story. I'm kind of anti that $50,000 national guru coming through the town because I saw how many lives they destroyed here in DFW and are still destroying, guys. Be very wary of these individuals coming through. If you're going to hire a coach that's $50,000, you want to make sure they're at least in your market doing deals, right? That just makes sense. And so in my graduating class, right, when I put up all that money, they gave me a discount from $50,000 down to $35,000 because I was special as long as I didn't tell anybody else, right? Except everybody got the same offer. So there's like 40 of us that went through that group. After a month, there's 2 people left still trying that business because everybody had put every dollar they had up and they weren't prepared. And so I said, this is just ridiculous. So, I'm very thankful and grateful that I was able to come out of what I did. And I credit real estate for basically saving my life in more ways than one. So I was like, I'm going to create something that's, there's something for everybody, a community, an army, right? You kill
Yes.
more hunting as a pack than you do on your own.
Right.
And so I'm kind of trying to create something for everybody that they can benefit and leverage each other's knowledge across the country. And so we launched Investor Army YouTube channel, and I'm probably going to put out a few hundred videos on there this year. We've already been putting out, I think, 20 or 30 videos. Also, we're coming out with Investor Army podcast here within the next month. Mm-hmm. We're coming out with a website that's still being built out. We're dealing with copyright issues and stuff like that. Just kind of slowing the process down a little bit. But the goal is to just kind of create a community of individuals where they have a safe place to come and interact, where they don't have to deal with that high pressure sales technique. But, we will be having, things that we are promoting as well. But that's only if they need extra education. The whole goal is just to give them free content, let them go and basically figure out how to shorten their learning curve to get into this business.
Fantastic. You have been busy, and I'm so excited for you, and so proud of you. So it's just wonderful to hear, the things that you have done and that you're doing. So fantastic. Now, before we end up, talk about maybe one or two books that you're reading right now. What are you reading, and is it really helping you?
Yeah, so I've been reading Traction lately. Okay.
It's a good one.
And Rocket Fuel, those books right now. But so I'm in the process of deciding how big do I want to scale my business, right? So do I hire 8 people and build out an office, or do I really want to go that route, or do I want to stay free and hire just one assistant and run my business with virtual assistants, which is what I've been doing, or which is how I run my business right now. And, I'm a member of some high-level masterminds, and I see it both ways, but I just see a lot of individuals that are tied to their business. And, yes. And we don't know when the next crash is going to happen. Do I really want to scale up? And then do I want to be responsible for all these individuals and their families? And it's just it's a tough decision, because am I going to hire 10 people, and is that going to create more income on my bottom line, or is it going to create more work, and I'm going to be stuck in a situation that I can't get out of? So right now, like, my business is primarily made up of a number of virtual assistants, and I think that's still probably going to be the way I want to go, because I don't know if I want to just build out an office. I think it's something that I feel like I'm going to be stuck to and tied to. It's going to be a lot of time and energy, and I think I can do what I'm trying to do the way I'm doing it right now.
I think that's great, and I have to agree with you. I think for me and my lifestyle and the comfort that I like is having the smaller business, having a business partner, a few virtual assistants, and having my power team. And I'm good. So, and, I work from home. And I think at one point I thought about that as well. But like you said, when you've seen both sides from, different colleagues or people that that you're in business with and work with and mastermind with, you're like, okay, it just depends on what your goals are at the end of the day and what type of lifestyle that you want to create. For a lot of people, they like the freedom. So being able to have that flexibility to work the business mobily from anywhere, for me makes more sense to do that. So, but yeah, I totally understand, what you're sharing there. So yeah, that's fantastic. All right. Last question for you. So I want you to share with everybody how they can contact you. And I know you got some special things you said you're going on or that you're doing with Investor Army. So if you want to share how they can get more information about that, that'll be great.
Yeah, y'all can just go over to our YouTube channel, Investor Army. If y'all have videos that you want us to film, we pretty much get on them. We're filming basically a video a day at the moment. It'd help if you could subscribe to the channel, like it, share it. That helps more other investors see it. The lead is coming on there here soon. We're going to do a collaboration video. She doesn't know that yet, but I think she does. But
I'm excited.
Yeah, and if y'all want to reach me, y'all can find my information. So we run a number of different companies and different brands out there. I have my Connor Bice Houses brand, Metroplex Invest brand, and our information is out there online. Or you can contact us at just info.investorarmy@gmail.com. And that's the best way to get to us that way. And, we are giving out, I think we're giving out $10,000 worth of gifts and prizes when we hit 1,000 subscribers. So in order to be eligible for that, you're going to have to be subscribed to the channel. And we're going to do that pretty consistently as we grow that channel to support y'all as y'all support us.
Oh, that's awesome. Again, everybody, make sure you go to YouTube, type in Investor Army. Make sure you see Connor's name there, Steinbrook, go ahead and subscribe, watch his videos, reach out to him. I do know that he will reach back out. So he's just that type of guy. But Connor, thank you so much, man. I'm super proud of you. Everybody, with this information, this was a fantastic episode. You probably need to listen to it again and again. But you know what I'm going to tell you. Make sure to always take action. Thanks again, Connor.
Thanks, Lo.